We are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. I am the president, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, also Henderson Realty, and also Henderson Insurance, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. And joining me, my co host, my brother from another mother, the
Amen.
famous
Yeah,
legend,
I don't know about that.
one and only James T from Hot 105. How you doing, brother?
But brother, I'm doing great, man. And thanks so much for asking, Rob. It's been a great week. Got a chance to see some friends I haven't seen in a while, and some people I haven't seen in a while. We lost a legend in radio here in South Florida. Uh, McKinley Williams, Crown Prince. He was known on the radio in Fort Lauderdale,
Oh
W
man.
WRBD. Yes, and I want to give a shout out to his family and all the friends. So I didn't get a chance to go to the funeral, but I did go to the viewing, and great turnout. Joe Fisher, who was our quote unquote general manager and operations manager and program director of WRBD. He and his wife came down, and of course we had Chico the Virgo, and hey man, in radio, there's so few of us that we meet during a lifetime that truly does impact and serve a community and taught us how to serve. As a matter of fact, I did a post saying that in 1971, when I became a member of that family, they brought me in, but they didn't just, people would say, oh, you got a job on the radio. No, I was being mentored and I was being taught what radio was about in the Black community. And Robert, you know how much I admire what you and your staff does. And what you do is the collaboration of a platform such as radio that serves a Black community to reach out with businesses like yours and others who serve those people. It's such a powerful thing, but you have to have people with that attitude of service. And Crown Prince, Joe Fisher, Mad Hatter, Mother Francis, they were the nucleus at that time. And AM radio was just sun up to sunset. Well, sun up to sunset.
Oh
And
man, yes.
all of a sudden they brought in the FM, which was CKO. And I think I might have been the first to go live on WCKO FM. So we had an AM and FM, and we were able to serve the community. So that was part of it. But the other part, Rob, is I get real pleasure when people come up to me and ask questions about what we talk about in this literacy program. And I saw something on one of the networks this week, and it talked about how financial literacy is just so important to our community because Black people, uh, we spend $1 trillion, and that's larger than a whole list of countries. Now, can you imagine that, Rob?
I
You,
know.
right. We spend that, but we think we're poor. So you and I know that Scripture says, "As a man or a woman thinketh in their heart, so so are they."
Yeah,
So the fact is, if you think you're poor, then you're poor, as they
that's
say,
right.
and you're not Edgar Allan Poe. You just Poe,
Hey,
P-O.
whatever you think is true.
Right. But if you would recognize that we are only poor because of lack of knowledge. So to get to because we're gonna have to run through a few things here this morning, but to get to it, I got at least three people that ask questions regarding that 401k and how to maximize use of it. Because I tell people, you don't just say, I've got a 401k and this is in it and what should I do with it? Because I know what your company does. Your company wants to look at the total person and seeing who they are, where they are, how are they doing, what they're doing, and now what is your vision? So when you explain that, that's how you can best serve that client. And
That's right.
as we talk too, they think that it's a one-time fix. But no, life is management. And Rob, I'm going to go straight to that Bible because hey, people don't know in the first chapter of Genesis that was why man was created. God wanted someone on earth to manage what he had created.
That's
But
right.
guess what? Uh, how many classes you get on management in high school or college? If you don't, if you don't make it an elective, they don't. They're not going to teach you that. They're not going to teach you how to manage your money. They're not going to teach you how to manage your life. They're not going to, because they want you to be, quote unquote, first a consumer and second an employee.
That's right.
So Rob, help us out. Help it, because I know a lot of people don't know how much is in their 401k, and they don't know what can be done with it. And these are working people, working class people, and smart
Well,
people. And I
well,
didn't know until you told me.
well, they talk is cheap. They talk about financial literacy, but really the system is not designed to really give you understanding. You could read and you can gain knowledge, but you have to understand the knowledge and you have to apply the knowledge in order for it to be effective. So the system that we live in understands that, and they know that. So a lot of the stuff is just advertising, what we call window dressing. It doesn't have a lot of substance in it when they talk about financial literacy, because financial literacy, you really have to dive deep to get understanding and help people to get understanding. And you teach it a different way because everybody learns differently. There's just not one way to become financial literate. People learn. Some people are visual. Some people are just needs words. But you have to get understanding. And all you're getting understanding. There's a lot of people that work and they had 2, 3, 4 jobs in their lifetime, and they started 401k. They went to a company, and the company said, we have benefits, sign up for the 401k after 6 months or a year. And they may work there for 2 years or 5 years or whatever, and oftentimes they leave, they forget about it. That money is lost, basically, because most people don't think about it. But when you leave an employer that was taking money out for a 401k, you have the right to go back and call that past employer and say you want to roll the money over. It's called a rollover. It's different between, and words mean a whole lot. The system that we live in goes by the letter of the law, not so much the spirit of the law. I'm really big on the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. The letter of the law, a lot of people get messed up based on the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law is what Jesus came to fulfill. The spirit, of the law. That's having compassion, love, understanding. That comes under the spirit of the law. The letter of the law is just words. Just don't do this, that. This is this. Here's a booklet. Read it. That's it. But they know you don't understand it. But here's a booklet with no pictures in it, a lot of pages. Can't say it's my fault. That's the letter of the law. It's up to you to interpret and understand it. Scriptures are like that too. So many people that go to church and they read the Bible, but they don't understand the Bible. So it's a big difference. So the letter of the law is just wording. The spirit of the law is when you get into understanding and you can teach it. It resonates in you. You could do it and you act upon it. Okay. So now 401k, most people, when they leave their employer, they don't think about rolling it over. You have to say roll over. You can't say, give me my money or I want to withdraw because then they tax you 20%. Okay. And you can have access to the money by doing a rollover, and then you can pay taxes the way you want to pay, after the end of the year. You don't have to pay it up front. Maybe you need to use the money right then, So that's called a rollover. There's a lot of people. There's millions and millions of people that have the job. They've been on a job for 10, 15, 20 years, and they need money. One way that they know how to access the 401k is to get a loan. When you have a 401k with your employer, you can borrow up to $50,000, okay, for hardship. And you have to go to the employer.
Whoa, Rob. Don't roll past that, Rob. See, again, what did you just say?
The law says when you have a 401k with your employer, you can borrow with a B. No taxes will be taken out. You can borrow up to $50,000 of the money that you have inside of that 401k.
Now,
okay.
Now, what if you don't have $50,000 in your 401k?
Okay, so let's say you have $30,000 in there. You can borrow $30,000. Okay, or you can borrow half of that. Whatever you need. But if you only save 401k is money that you've actually saved. It has been withdrawn from your pay bi-weekly or monthly, because you're putting it away for retirement. And then hopefully it's most of the time it's in the stock market, and hopefully it'll grow, but it's volatile. But hopefully it has grown over the years more than that. That is more than that, and what you actually put in there initially has increased in value. But let's say you need $20,000, but you have $50,000 inside the plan. You can actually go to your HR department and say, listen, I got a hardship. I'm losing my house, or they just repossessed my car, or I got so many credit card bills. I need to borrow money from my 401k. You're entitled to do that. You can borrow it, but you have to pay it back within 5 years. That's standard across the board in the country, USA. Okay. But you do have access that way. It's a loan. Another way, what I would say 95% of people have never heard of what I'm about to say here now.
Now, here comes the good part, folks. Listen up closely.
It's called a in-service rollover, meaning that you don't have to leave the job or get fired or a transfer. You can still be working like your job. You can be there, but you need some money. And matter of fact, you need to manage your own money, because you don't like the way your company is managing. They only have XYZ fund. Maybe you want a Vanguard fund, or maybe you want a ABC fund, but your company don't offer that. So your company, more than likely, you go to the call HR department and say, listen, I'm not quitting. I'm not retiring. I haven't been fired, but I think I can do better with my money somewhere else rather than with the company managing it. So I want to find out, is this plan, this 401k plan that my employer set up, does it have a component called an in-service rollover? And a lot of them do. Lot of them do.
Repeat that. In-service rollover.
I mean, you're still serving the company. So it's in-service rollover. So when you do an in-service rollover, that means you're still working there. You don't have no plans on leaving. They ain't fired you. But you need some money. You need to manage your own money. So you can do an in-service rollover. Once you do the in-service rollover, they will actually give you your money non-tax, but you have to roll it over into another qualified plan. Another qualified plan means just set up an IRA or 401k outside. We do it all the time for clients, and they may want to take their money and buy some real estate, because if having the money in the 401k with their job, you can't buy real estate. You know what I mean? You can't buy a rental property. You can't do that because the company, your employer says, no, we got mutual funds. That's it. We ain't let you do what you want to do. You can't manage it. But if you do an in-service rollover, you can take your 100,000, 500,000, 20,000, whatever you have in there, and you can roll it over, and you can do what you want. You can be a hard money lender. You could buy real estate. You could buy cryptocurrency. And now you could do that, and you can manage it. And we at the Henderson Financial Group, we specialize in do that. We're really good in helping you to manage that and give you some good advice, give you some good counseling, and tell you your options. But James, I would say 95% of the people don't know that. And you would say, why don't they push this? Because they don't want you to take the money. Ignorance. You think education costs, but ignorance costs far more than education. What you don't know will definitely hurt you. That's why I'm so big in terms of learning and going around the country, different workshops and conferences and reading all the time, because there's so much that can help each and every one of us that we didn't even know that was on the planet. It's so much stuff. Any challenge that you may have, matter of fact, any illness that you may have, if you research, there's a lot of natural stuff that can help you. Aches and pains. It's all about knowledge and comprehension and understanding. But you have to have a thirst for it. You have to know or believe that there's the good God that puts you on this planet didn't put you on here for nothing. Put you on here because you need to think and explore. All of us should be explorers. We shouldn't take what they're giving us. When you're taking what they're giving us, that means that you are missing out. You should always want better.
But Rob, and the one thing you just said is he put us here to be managers. And
That's
the
right.
reason that we have what we have, and the others who don't even believe in him has more, he says, because they are better managers. They are better managers of what we've been given. And
Well, that's in scripture too.
Rob, no question. That's
Yeah.
what truth is. You're going to find it. He says, They have your wealth. I mean, wait, come on, Rob. They have my wealth. So
Yeah.
if they have my wealth, why is that? That's because, hey, they know the principles of management. They are
Right.
better at managing than I am. And if I don't ask, seek, and knock, I'll always be. But then when I get the quote unquote knowledge, when I get the understanding and I comprehend, then I can do, hey, the application, which is wisdom. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm asking because most people would say, wait a minute, but Rob, if I go in there and pull my 401k monies out, then what happens if I'm gonna retire in 2 years or 3 years? What? And then you'll get a chance to say, wait, you didn't lose your money. We just rolled it over and placed it in a better situation for you to not wait until retirement to get some of those things you desire.
Exactly. Exactly. So and then think about the 401k. If you have an employer 401k, you have to you avoid the 10% penalty after age 59 and a half. If you roll it over, especially if you roll it over and do a solo 401k, you could roll it over. I'll show you how to do that. You don't have to wait to 59 and a half. You can wait to 55. So you can get it 4 years earlier. And a lot of people don't know that. Now, why do I know this stuff? Because I'm like Easter egg hunt. I'm constantly searching. I'm constantly searching. People ask me, Rob, why you don't play golf? I say, I think golf is a wonderful, beautiful sport. Matter of fact, I think if I got into it, I'd be addicted to it.
You
But
would.
it's so I would, because I like the challenge, and I like to be good, better, best, and keep trying to get better. But the reason why I don't get into it because I understand I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm still trying to master Spanish. I'm still trying to master the piano. I'm still trying to learn more about financial softwares and things that can help my job to be better. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm still trying to that I want to focus on. I'm still I got like 10 books inside of me that I got to get out of me. So for me to be out there for 4 hours hitting the ball, then I feel like I'm missing out. I really do need to work on the things that are more important to me. You know what I mean? Now, if I was getting money hitting the balls, then I'll be, I would do it. A different thing. That's a different thing.
Around, but I'm gonna get you into 9 holes rather than 18, so you can do 2.5 hours.
It's ma- it's ma-
That'll be your relax time.
Hey James, as a matter of fact, man, it was last Thursday, actually Thursday, man. I was at a conference, and you put your name in the little raffle, and the first name they called was Robert Henderson Jr. You won a golf bag. And they shipped it. It shipped a brand new golf bag to my house. I said, James, I'm like, James, you want this golf bag? What am I gonna do with a golf bag? Brand new golf bag, James. I'm saying, James, I said, I'm going, James, can you tell me what I need to do with this golf bag? And it got balls and all that kind of stuff. So I think I was gonna give it to you.
Well, hey man, we'll get on that. But what you just said, Rob, helped a lot of people, I'm sure. But I also want them to understand that you don't play checkers. You play chess with life.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
life. Because see, people don't understand that one move does not make you what you are quote unquote created to become. It takes lifetime of management. Like you said, what a couple weeks ago we weren't on because you were at a conference in Arizona. Last year, I don't know how many conferences you were at, but it was so that you could continue to grow, therefore continue to build your company and to help those who work with you to grow so that we can share and we can teach others and we can learn. But we all stay in our lane and master in our lane. So when you talked about that management and when you talked about, hey, having someone look into that, don't do it on your own. You may call your HR, but we want you to call the Henderson Financial Group. We want you to call. We want you to make an appointment. We want you to, get some counsel. Multiple counsel is great. Hey, believe me, I'm not the person that I don't know what Robert knows. And I'm glad I don't. I just know what I know, and I could try to grow in that I know. And the growth in management is to realize what management really is, and it's to effectively and efficiently use that God has given us, so that we can manage, and then how we can be a blessing to others. So, Mr. Henderson, thank you for that. I don't want us to stay on that because I know you got some other topics that we wanted to talk about today. But thank
Yes,
you for
yes.
sharing.
I want to say my sister-in-law Becky. She calling about her sister Linda. Why she not here? Well, Becky, Linda had another assignment that she had to take care of. She called me this morning. She was planning on being here, but she had another assignment that was just pressing that she really had to take care of. But oftentimes, Linda's and all of them, Becky and Natalie, Angie, Patricia, they usually taking care of their mother, my mother-in-law,
Mhm.
because she's matter of fact, something that I'm going to talk about, long-term care. Um, and usually, she's either here or she's there or she's on an assignment. So Linda's out today, ladies and gentlemen. That's my sister-in-law. For those who just chiming in, we've been working together for probably 25 years. Okay, and that's my wife, little sister, Linda V. Harris. Linda, we miss you. Hopefully, she'll be here next week. Good morning, Joseph Caravera, Bernadette, Damian Nelson, Denise Ward. Good morning, P. Parnell Victor. Parnell, I'm gonna see you later on today. I hope, hopefully. We also have Mr. and Mrs. Redhead. The gang is all here. So, James, so we talked about the strategies that you can use. You check with your employer. A lot of people from UPS and FedEx and Coca-Cola, a lot of people that work there, they don't even know that you can have. I mean, there's thousands of companies that have inside of their rules and regs that you can do an in-service rollover. But it's kind of like, if you don't ask, nobody's not going to tell you. I mean, you got to ask, and you got to seek. There's something about the scriptures that said you got to seek, ask, and knock. That right there, man. As soon as you read that or heard that, wonderful things happen once you seek, ask, and knock. Most people just feel like you're supposed to show up, or somebody's going to volunteer and show you or tell you. No. You have a responsibility, especially if you're an adult, to ask, seek, and knock. That's what you got to do. Ask, seek, and knock, whatever. And it's always an answer out here. But for whatever challenge that you're facing, you just got to get to the right person. That's all. And as you grow and learn in wisdom, you got to realize that, God has put people on this planet for we can serve each other. We just have to find out which one. There's a lot of shysters now. You got to be able to discern who just trying to get your money or who just trying to, just fool you, because there's a lot of them. But if you really pray and really want to really serve and really help yourself and do good, I promise you, you got to ask, or you got to seek, you got to get referrals. A lot of times you just can't go in the yellow pages or just get somebody off the internet. You got to really find out who has worked with this person. That's really good. The best referrals is referral. We get a lot of referrals because we've been working with clients for 10, 20, 30 years. We got clients, I've been doing this 37 years. So, you got to ask. Now, James, you said, and that was the first thing about the 401k. Right. You said there's another topic you want to talk about.
Well, we sort of had talked about it with management, and that was the thing that I wanted to say. As you give out information here weekly, and people can take notes and say, I got it, and then they can try to, like you said, just go out there and say, well, I know another financial planner, or I know an accountant, or I know so and so and so, or my cousin told me this, or my coworker told me this, and that may be good. You can listen to them, but listening and making a decision based on what you're being told, you really do want a professional. Before we went on, Robert and I was talking off air. You can say, my foot hurt, and you tell the doctor, I know it's my toe because I did my toe. How do you know? It may not be your toe. If your foot hurt, it could be something in your leg, or it could be anything. So, hey, don't just go out there. You need to find people who will help you to manage. Robert had said at the beginning of the year that we were going to make this the year of choices. Make the choice of saying, I'm going to get some professional help with what it is that I've envisioned to do. And most people, Robert says pray, but that prayer and that faith. Faith is not in what you see or what you want. You know, hey, faith is in the unseen. You so you got to seek those things. I want to know those things I don't know. You know, and I don't want God to give me that I can see. That I can see, I need to make the sacrifices to get it. I want him to give me that he has for me that goes beyond that. So managing, Rob, how important is it for them to call into the company to find out how you guys help them to manage what they're doing?
Yeah, because we don't just do, quick fixes. What we do an MRI, we do like an ultrasound. We actually look at, full scale body scan, but on the financial tip. We look at, your cash flow, your budget, your investments, we look at your taxes, we look at your estate plan. We want to know good, better, best. We want to know if something happens. We want to make sure we have all the holes plugged up, in the cup. In terms, we a lot of people want more money, but they got holes in the cup, and the more money they get, it just keep leaking out, and they trying to figure out why they ain't have no money, and they keep making more money. And so what we do is we will look at and do an examination and find out exactly what's going on in your financial life. And a lot of people don't know that, that they're losing money unnecessarily. They just don't know. And that's why you need somebody with different set of eyes to be able to coach you and be able to do that x-ray, the MRI for you. We know what to look for, because a lot of people, you think it's this, but it's that. You know what I mean? And that's what we specialize. That's why we like what we do, because it's everybody's different. I earlier, before the show started, I talked to James. I said, James, I got two topics that I really want to talk about. I can't talk about both of them at one time because so much to go into. So I said, we'll talk about one today, and then we'll talk about the other one next week. So the two topics was understanding the difference between a living trust and an irrevocable trust. Because a lot of people think that having a living trust, it's everything. It's the answer to everything, but it's not. A living trust is mainly for avoiding probate. That's it. It's not a tax saving, a tax deduction. It doesn't prevent you from being lawsuit or nothing. And then there's a living trust. That's the living trust. And then we talk about the irrevocable trust. So that's the topic I want to talk about. And I also want to talk about, there is a long-term care. So me and James got together and said, people need long-term care, because a lot of people are dropping dead. If they ain't dropping dead, they're getting sick, they're having a heart attack, and they're recovering, they're having strokes, and now they need long-term care. You know what I mean? So we chose that topic today. Now I just previewed next week's topic. Okay, so next week's topic is we're gonna talk all about trust. What is a living trust? Because y'all hear about that's buzzword. And what is the irrevocable trust? So that's next Saturday. So make sure you tune in and tell your friends and neighbors or whatever, tune in at the Henderson Financial Group or YouTube, Facebook channel, because we're going to talk about that. So today we're going to talk about LTC, long-term care. And as your mama and cousins and big mama and me, I mean, I'm 65 years old now, as you age, especially when you're around 50 years old, one of the things that I never liked about certain type of insurances is there are some insurance plans that if you pay for it, but if you don't use it, you lose it. I always had a problem with any component that met those kind of standards, an insurance of something that said you pay for this just in case something happens, but if nothing happens, you don't get your money back. Somehow, James, that never set good with my soul. You know what I mean? I mean, it never did. But that's the world we live in. But there's some things that you pay for if nothing never happens, you still have the money. Now I like that. That seems
you got my attention.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so a lot long-term care, like a lot of people have long-term care policy, short-term or long-term on their jobs. And they may pay, $10 a pay period or whatever for short term. And they'll say, should I have this long-term $5 or whatever, and a per pay period. And some of them never become disabled. They never need the long-term care. You lose the money. Here is a strategy, a product that I just found out about, and I'm loving it. And I've been telling my clients about it. Here is a plan where you can buy an annuity. The minimum is $35,000. Okay, so let me tell you what an annuity is. When you think of annuity, I want you to get a visual like a CD, a certificate of deposit, but it's better than that because it pays more, plus it grows better. Okay, so when I say an annuity, I want you to think about you can put your money somewhere where it's safe, just safe it in the bank, actually, and the principal is guaranteed, so you cannot lose it. But you have some money that you just been having in the bank and you're over 50 years old. And you need to probably have some sort of medical coverage, long-term care in case something happens to you. Then you'll be able to use that money to take care of in-service care. Someone comes to your house and bathe you and cook for you, especially if you're single or if you're married and it's just too much on the other person. Then you have a policy that you could use that someone will come in the house, or you can go to a nursing home, or you can go to adult care, but that's an insurance policy. Oftentimes you have to pay for that. But if you have $35,000, you can actually put it into an account and it doubles. It not only grows, and it grows if you don't take any money out, you don't have to pay any taxes. It grows. But if you become disabled or long-term care, you could use it. The good thing about this plan is whatever you put in there, it will double or triple automatically. So let's say you say, okay, I want to buy $50,000. I want to, not a CD, but I want to put it into an annuity, $50,000. So you have to answer 5 questions. And I'm going to read those questions out. If you say no, you qualify. So you put $50,000. I'm an example. You can put $100,000. The max you can put in is $400,000. So if you put $50,000 into this annuity, this plan, this investment, it's going to grow, let's say at 5%. It gives you $150,000 worth of long-term care coverage just in case you need it. But if you don't never need it, you still got your money. You get your money back. And it's steady growing. I like that. That's something that you can invest and it continues to grow. But all of a sudden you need long-term care. You have a stroke, you have a heart attack, whatever, and you need somebody to come in. This thing now, it's not 50,000 anymore or whatever it's grown to. It triples. And you use that, you take money tax-free to pay for the nursing, the care. That's some good stuff. Most people have never heard of what I'm talking about. Most people have never, how are they going to hear about it? But I'm telling you, for every challenge that you have, there is a solution, but you need to know about it. So you have to have a relationship with people like the Henderson Financial Group. That's all we do is look for strategies for situations that may come up. So that's why you should call the Henderson Financial Group and say, listen, I'm thinking about doing this, or how do I do this? Or what do you think if I do this? Should I lease this car or buy this car? But you got to have a relationship with us. You can't just, we don't know who you are. You got to have a relationship with God. If you want a prayer, if you want a blessing, you can't just say, God, I don't know you, but hey, give me this. No, you got to have a relationship. Life is about having a relationship. So you start a relationship because you never know. And the relationship you have with the Henderson Financial Group, it's not like James say, bam, bam, that's it. We have you for a lifetime. And I'm going to be doing this for another 30 years. And everybody in the firm is younger than me. So they're going to be carrying on. All right. All right. I know I was talking fast.
No, Rob, the one thing that, and you started on it, who qualifies for that? And those 5 questions. That's what but you said you was going to ask that. Those 5 questions.
5 questions.
Yes.
So let's just say if I have to take my glasses off because after high school, when I really got serious with life, because before high school, I was like Peter Pan. I did not want to grow up. I did not want to leave high school. I was getting that free lunch. I loved all my friends. I played sports. I was having a good time. When they told me I graduated from high school and I got to go out into this cold, cruel world, and I have to fend for myself and there's no more free lunch, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe who would want to lead this. And then I started reading, and I started reading so much because I was trying to catch up, because when I was in school, I never read a book. I would just look at stuff and I can common sense, math and stuff. But I didn't really care because I knew that I was spending the rest of my life asking, seeking, and knocking and learning. So I used to read James like constantly. And then when I would look up, my eyes wouldn't adjust. So then I said, okay, I go to the doctor. And now for distance, I need my glasses. But for close up, I don't need them. So that's why I take my glasses off. Okay, most people are just the opposite. They need glasses to read. Okay, so if you could answer no to these 5 questions, you qualify. So if you put $100,000 annuity guaranteed principal growing at 5%, it's going to grow. You can leave it in there and take it out when you want to take it out. But if you leave it in there, then it's always a long-term care policy also, other than annuity. But you got to answer no to these 5 questions. Okay, the first question is, are you currently hospitalized? Now, if you hospitalized, you can't say, oh, let me get this policy now. No. So if you can say, no, I'm not hospitalized, are you confined to a bed? If you can say no, are you residing in an assisted living facility? If you can say no to that, that's the first. Okay, you got past that one. You're looking good now. The second question is, in the last 12 months, have you applied for any long-term care policy or long-term care rider and was declined? If you say, no, I just heard about this stuff, I've never applied for in the past 12 months. You could have did 3 years ago, but in the last 12 months is key. Have you applied for a long-term care policy? If you say no, boom, that's 2 down that you said no. You got 3 more that you got to say no to. The third one is, are you currently using, or in the past 12 months, have you used or been medically advised by a healthcare professional to use any of the following? Care in nursing facility. Have you been to a nursing facility? Home health care service? Have you been to an adult daycare service? Do you use a walker, a wheelchair, multi-prong cane, like, the canes that had the 3, Do you have a motorized scooter? Are you in a hospital bed? Do you have a stair lift? I mean, you can't walk. Do you need oxygen because you can't breathe? Are you on a dialysis machine, kidney? Are you in hospice? If you could say no, that's 3 you qualify for. Okay, so now you got 2 more. Now let's go to the next one. Number 4, do you require assistance or supervision for performing any of the following? The following is taking your medication. You need somebody to give you a medication, or you can take your own medication. Bathing. Can you bathe? Take a shower or bathe yourself? Can you put on your own clothes? Getting in and out of bed or a chair. Can you do it yourself, or you need somebody to help you? If you can say no, you're good. Eating. Do you need somebody to feed you? No. Okay. What about going to the bathroom? Okay. No. Managing your bowels. Okay. If you good with that. What about walking? Can you still walk? Okay, that's 4. So far, you good. You qualify for this bonanza. The last 5, if you can say no to this last question, you good. In the last 7 years, have you been diagnosed or treated by a health professional and been prescribed or taking medication for any of the following? Alzheimer's disease. You taking Alzheimer's disease or dementia? What about reoccurring medical loss? What about mild cognitive impairment? You don't know where you're at. What about organic brain syndrome? What about mental incapacity or retardation? What about Parkinson's disease? If you can say no, I don't have Parkinson's disease. What about multiple sclerosis? Are you paralyzed? You say no. Have you your organs transplant? No. What about a spinal stenoid or chronic back pain that you have to use narcotics for? You can say no. What about you have autoimmune disease? Say no. What about muscular dystrophy? Okay. What about Lou Gehrig's disease? What about Huntington disease? What about hepatitis? Hepatitis. What about cirrhosis? What about smoking? What about COPD? And have you had a stroke or a TIA, multiple transit, whatever that is, ischemic attack. It's called TIA. And the last one, yeah, have you had a stroke? If you can say no to that, you qualify. Meaning that if you put $50,000 in a savings account, an annuity, safe, okay, they'll give you triple that in terms of long-term care, but you ain't got to pay monthly. So you put 50,000. So if you got $100,000 sitting in a CD or savings account or whatever, but you're still good, you take that 100,000, you're still gonna get at least 5%, but it's gonna give you $300,000 of long-term care benefit. After you get it, all this stuff could happen. But you can't have it before. You can't get it before and have all this stuff before you get the plan. That's big, man. Long-term care is big. And a matter of fact, I just read a report that said if you're 65 years old and older, 70% of people who are 65 and older will need some form of long-term care before they die. In other words, what does that really mean? Out of 100 people, 70 people gonna need long-term care. If you made it to 65 years old, you're gonna need that. 70. So I'm hoping I'm one of the 30. I mean, I'm 65, James. I'm hoping I'm riding my bike last night for 15 miles. I'm trying to eat more greens and vegetables, cut back on that sugar, no salt, you know what I mean? And trying to meditate and trying to, I don't know, I don't know.
Rob, it goes with what I'm saying. That really makes my heart go pitter patter, because that says the reason they're saying that 70% of those people are going to need it is because we're going to be living longer. And
that's true.
What? That's the, Rob, and that's the key. Not just be breathing. See, what you and I are talking about is how do I really get a chance to live a life longer? Be active, be able to, hey, not just to do, but to think, because a lot of people can do things, but their thoughts are not there, and constantly learning and growing. So that's really good. But
it's good, James, because you could get this plan before any of that happens. So in other words, so we like annuities, because annuities are like, if you have a pension, it's like having a private pension. You put your money in an annuity, you leave it in there for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, or whatever. And then when you say, okay, turn on the faucet, they start paying you like your employer will pay you. So they pay you every month for the rest of your life. Right along with you're getting Social Security, so you're getting paid there. And then if you have a 401k or a pension plan, you're getting paid there. So you're getting paid, we call it three-legged stool. So you're getting paid, a check is in the mail or direct deposit every month before you got to bed. You don't have to work for it. And you want that. The thing that can stop that and destroy all of that is if you have to deal with long-term care. You didn't provide for that. And most people just pay for it while they're on their jobs, employee benefits. The problem is when you leave the job and you want to retire, now you don't have that coverage. And Medicare is not for long-term, it's short-term care, but it's not long-term care. And then the other part of it is, if you have assets, the state's not going to take care of you. If you got stocks or real estate investments, then they're going to say, you're not poor, because you have to be on Medicaid. Medicare is not for the poor. Medicaid is for the poor, people who's very low income. Now you could have Medicare if you become disabled, Medicare, but for the most part, you don't get Medicare until you're age 65 years old. And a lot of people, 40 and 50 years old, and they became disabled, so you qualify for that. But if you have low income, you get Medicaid, Medicaid, not care, Medicaid. But we help people to get annuities where they pay you 40% bonus, where they'll give you 25% bonus. Any money you put in there, they'll match it 40%. That's good, and it has its place. But here's an annuity that does different things. You put your money in there, it's safe, you grow, you cannot lose a dime. It can get index returns. It can get more than 5% on some of them. But just in case something happens unforeseen and you have a stroke or a heart attack, now this 50,000 doubles, it becomes $150,000 worth of money and benefit that you can use tax-free, and you're not paying monthly. You already put the $50,000 in it. So if you put $100,000, if you put $200,000 inside of this annuity, and all of a sudden it gives you $600,000 worth of benefits. I was just reading that. I mean, if you're paying a caregiver for 4 hours, $30,000 a year, man, that adds up, especially for 4 hours. And a lot of people say they need more than 4 hours, but 4 hours at $30,000 a year, and that depends on what kind of care. If you want a nursing home, if you want a family member to come in your house, or you want to go to adult care, those are different prices, but it's expensive. And we're going to be living longer because medicine is advancing and people are living longer. Matter of fact, yesterday, the first 110-year-old baby was born. What I mean by that, he's expected or she's expected to live to 110, 120. That was yesterday. So science is really improving a lot of things. It's not just AI. AI is having an effect on all of our lives. But, if the problem with running out of money is living too long. If the longer you live, the more money that you're going to need, because money will run out and you don't want to run out of money. The best thing you could do if you got a little bit of money, I guess, is die quick.
No. Best thing you can do is to create multiple sources of cash flow. That's
Yeah.
what you better do.
Yeah, that's what you better do.
That's what you People talk about how much they got. And I say, well, do you know how long you're going to be here? Divide it by the rest of your life, and it'll tell you how you're going to live.
Yeah. Longevity, man. People, if you want to live a long time, you got to stop spending your money, man, unless you're going, because matter of fact, I used to tease and say you're going to be a Walmart greeter, but man, they changing you. They ain't having no Walmart greeters now. They got the robot there, man.
What I'm going to do is greet what I want to. I'm going to greet who I want to greet. Only welcome to the kingdom. Yeah. But Rob, it's a great point. And I'll say this, not being braggadocious in any way, but thanks to a gentleman by the name of James Williams. And I can't even remember. I was trying to recall what year it was, but it's years ago. James was an account exec at I don't know if it was Hot or Jams back in the day, but he left and he went to Orlando. And before he went to Orlando, he was working for New York Life. And my mother, I said, hey, he was telling me about this plan. He said, James T., we have a program for long-term health care. I said, I want to get it for my mom. And I did. And the care that she needed, even in her latter days, she really could have gotten at home, but we loved for her to go out because, if anybody staying in the house all the time, confined to the house all the time, no, we wanted her to have some social experiences. And she was on that. She later in life came on dialysis. And hey, it was a great visit to her as long as she got the person that she wanted to give her dialysis. Now, when somebody else tried to come in to tap that vein, boy, ooh, you knew she had a bad day. But other than that, it was a social thing. But what we did was we were trying to look out for the best interests of someone we love. And that's the point that I want to make.
Yes.
If it's not for you, it could be for someone that you love.
That's right. That's right. Because Big Mama have money sitting in the bank, just sitting there, and they have not become disabled now. They don't need long-term care now. This is the time to get it. And you don't have to pay monthly, and you don't lose anything if you don't use it. The regular long-term care plans mean that you got to pay for it monthly, and then if nothing happened, they die in their sleep, all your money goes down the drain. I like this one because you can make an investment, and an investment can serve two ways. It's growing, and then all of a sudden, if you die or whatever one day, then it goes to your beneficiaries. But I like this one right here. It's growing, and all of a sudden you do need long-term care, one of those Alzheimer's or something that happens. Now, instead of whatever you have in there, the amount, actually real dollars, will triple tax-free, and then you can use it for daily use to help the person. That is preventative. Now, don't say you ain't never heard this before. Don't say, if you listening and you watching, it's for a reason. You were meant to hear this. Now, what you do with it, that's on you. Because you can't say you did not know. You've been warned. I've told you. You can't say you didn't know about it. Now, doing something about it, and if you don't do it, then that's shame on you. Because you can't say I didn't know. A lot of people like say, man, I didn't know. You know now. You can't run. There's a reason why you watching this program today. So you don't have no excuse. You can't say you ain't know about this program. And the minimum you can put in here in that annuity plan that's going to triple is $35,000. Now, what are you going to get $35,000? I mean, you can have it in investments. You can use it from, you can't use retirement funds. It has to be non-qualified funds. So you have to have a savings or have money that you got a windfall, or you can save up for. You come to Henderson Financial Group, and you could start saving up. You can get minimum $35,000. But some people have that already, and they just have money sitting around. I just talked to a young girl. She just had money like $200,000 just sitting in the bank. She was young. She's a nurse. And she had $200,000 sitting in the bank, earning nothing. And I said, oh, man, I'm glad that somebody told you to call us so we can help you and just do an MRI and go over your goals and objectives and where you want to go and what you're trying to accomplish. We need to look at your risk analysis to see exactly how riskful you are, or lack of risk that you may be risk averse, as we call it, But the important thing is for you to give us a call. And I like to tell you about these things because this is what we call financial literacy. This is real understanding that, literacy, being able to find out information that you can actually use. And what I'm talking to you about right now, there's millions of people that can use this and don't know. So I want you to spread this information. So it's called preventative investing for long-term care, because the longer you live, the chances are you're gonna need it. Because y'all know what kind of stuff they put in our food, man. God knows, for profit, people just dropping dead. Heart attacks, strokes, blood clogs. You know what I mean? We just don't know. So you want to be prepared, because dying sometimes costs less than being disabled, because you have to continue to pay for that care for a very long time. Although somebody just told me a funerals cost $25,000 now, I'm like, holy cow, but the cost of living is it's a business, man. Dying is a business, hospitalization is a business, education is a business, marriage is a business, church is a business. It's all about the money. That's why we call this show Understanding Money. This is real financial literacy. Now I want you all to tune in, because we didn't talk about it today, but next Saturday we're going to explore the living trust. What it is and what it ain't, what it can do and what it cannot do. And then we're going to talk about its cousin, what's called the irrevocable living trust. Why would somebody have an irrevocable living trust? Oh, man, a lot of the wealthy people use that. That's something that, boy, you're like, whoo, man, it's a thing it's a strategy that a lot of the wealthy use called own nothing, but control everything.
Everything.
Wow. That's what the irrevocable living trust. Own nothing. You can swear on a stack of Bibles, I don't own nothing. But why you got that car? Why you got that house? It ain't mine. You can't take it from me. You can't take it from me if I don't own it, can you? Right? That's a law. That's a strategy. So next Saturday, we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to break it down to you like you're a 6-year-old. Because most people use that, don't understand. Just like the word LLC. Most people don't really understand all what an LLC can do. Most people really don't. No more than the smartphones. Most of us don't really use the smartphones like they should be. And they have a nerve to be talking about now Apple smartphone 15. Hell, people on the 2, on the 5, they ain't even using all with the 5. Well, I think this is a 12 or something. I'm not really sure. My daughter Heisey, she's into that. She get them for us, okay? But anyway, you need to understand how to work with what's available to you. And that's what we do at the Henderson Financial Group. So I want you to go to our website, which is www.thehendersonfinancialgroup. I'm going to repeat that. www.the, you got to put the in it now. You got to put thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. And you can call us for counseling.
Rob, go ahead.
305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. Right, James?
Yeah. And if there's anybody that's listening right now in our chat, comment section or whatever, if you have a question about what Rob just talked about or something else that you would love to hear more about, hey, could you enter that? And because we'd love to get response from you. One of the things that I love about doing on radio, Rob, is, hey, to have that instant conversation. I got an interview coming up Friday or whatever. And so we have a new county exec, and he called me, James T. Could you give me those questions that you're going to be at? I said, look, you just send me the information, the who, what, when, where, and I'll work out the high, okay? The how, rather. Yeah. But hey, if you have questions or comments, please don't be shy, because the question or comment that you make may be on the mind of someone else. So when we have these sessions on Saturday mornings, please, yes, we love to see that you're present, but we love to also have your participation. But I want to remind everybody what we discussed today, that 401k, get more information about it and how it could be best used for your benefit. And also understanding management. What we are called to do is to manage that we have been given. And so often we think we don't have. And the reason we think that is because we don't know what we have and how it could be better used. As Robert always talks about, hey, we don't want to deal with the good or the better. We want to find the best. And even at best, we want to see if there's better than best.
Right.
As we do that. But we thank everybody for joining us today, Rob. And of course, Rob, now, Miss Linda, hopefully she'll be back, because obviously people miss Linda. And
Oh
we want
yeah,
shouts out to Miss Linda
people missed her.
and what's going on. But please, 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 folks, be aware. Another thing, Rob, at some point we're going to talk about is our communities. Many of us are not aware that we're living on gold mines, but we're just not good gold miners. And do not let your loss be because of taxes, not paying those taxes.
Property taxes, right?
Because somebody is smart enough to pay them for you in hopes that they be able to mine your gold mine.
Yeah, that's a business. While you're not paying, they watching you. They waiting for you not to pay it so they can pay it, right? And take over.
I know at one point, Rob, I don't remember. I don't know what it is now, but at one time, I think when you got property tax deeds or whatever, it was like 12%.
Yeah. It depends. It's in different counties, different states and cities. Yeah,
Yeah.
So you can get different rates.
So folks, please, if and you don't, when I say own your home, I don't mean debt free, or you don't have a mortgage. I'm just saying that home that you have can be more valuable than you think, and someone else knows it, and they're not going to tell you. So particularly here in South Florida, my goodness, I don't know what the value of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or whatever it is. I don't know. Well, nobody knows how high it's going to go, but I can tell you that there are people in places that grandma or mom and dad, paid a few $1,000s for a house now, and they're getting $600,000, $700,000, and $800,000 for that. But you think they're buying that house, and you think it's an individual buying that house, but it's not an individual that's buying that house. It's a venture capitalist that's buying that house. And on that, go ahead, Rob.
And location, they can be buying it for location. They know exactly what's about the zoning around it. Right, what's about to happen. So it's a business. You might not know it. Chances are you don't, because you don't ask, seek, and knock. But there are people, it's their business to ask, seek, and knock, and to find out where the movement is going, not so much where it is right now. And they like to plan. They like to plan for 5 years and 10 years, and that's how you become wealthy, planning for long term. Carol Miller, thank you so much for joining us. You in Islam, I'm waiting for my report that you're supposed to send me, Islam. Miss Joanne Jackson, Witherspoon, thank you for joining us. Helen Lee, Mr. Joseph Covell, Bernadette. Who else we got here? I want to say hello to you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys learned something, Damon. Sister-in-law Becky, Denise Ward, Parnell, Brendan Brown, Mr. and Ms. Red. I hope you guys learned something. And I want you to share the information that we talked about today. There's certain ways and how to diversify. You got to protect yourself, because longevity, the more you live the more money that you're going to need, the more ammunition, the more sources. But stay tuned and stay with us, because we have a lot of information and we want to share it with you so you can share it with your loved ones and your community and your neighbors. Okay. So, James, we need to have prayer, man. Can you take us out, brother?
Yes, I do. I'm so thankful. Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, we just thank you for this right now moment. And those that are listening to us or viewing us today, and those that will come in the future, because it'll be posted up on the social platform, we ask that you would touch their hearts to have a desire to learn and earn more. But more than that, to better manage that we have. For truly, we do believe that one of your principles is that you created us to manage this kingdom here on earth. And we don't have to die to go to heaven. That heaven is right here on earth. So help us to better manage that you've given us, so that we may be a blessing to others and acknowledge the fact that thou art our God. And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen, amen, amen.
Man, when the church said, man, when you say you ain't got to die to go to heaven, heaven is right here. It made me think about my saying I like to say is that you don't have to be sick in order to get better.
Come on, Dad.
You don't have to be sick in order to get better. What I mean by that, wherever you are, you think you good, man, you come to Henderson Financial Group, you're going to be better, because we're going to try to get you to being your best, you know? Now, those of you all about that annuity I talked about that triples, doubles your money and for long-term care benefits, give us a call at 305-825-1444 and say you heard me talking about it on today's show. And if you can answer those five questions, in other words, you're not disabled right now, you're qualified. We can tell you how to get into it. It's nationwide, the company. We'll tell you more about it. So peace, love, and happiness. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and be safe. Be safe. Be safe. Peace.